A Fulton County judge could lose her job after Georgia's judicial watchdog says she broke the law. The Judicial Qualifications Commission says Superior Court Judge Sharmella Williams is facing several misconduct allegations.
So what happens when a judge is accused of misconduct, of illegally jailing a witness, of violating basic courtroom ethics, and then they just don't walk away quietly because then they get hired by none other than District Attorney Fani Willis? Yes. That just happened, and people are asking, is this accountability or is this a pattern? Good afternoon, beautiful people, and welcome to Nellie Miranda. As always, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Okay, so this story is about judgment, credibility, and a justice system that people are already losing trust in. We're talking about a former judge who resigned, by the way, under an ethics investigation, and now she is working as a prosecutor. Now, we all heard this, and we know that life isn't fair. We know sometimes it's about who you know, knowing somebody that knows somebody to get to where you're going. But when it comes to the justice system, that rule should not apply. So here's the headline. Fani Willis has hired Sharmella Williams, a former Fulton County judge who resigned earlier this year while facing serious misconduct allegations. So she didn't just leave, she resigned while under investigation, and now she is back in the DA's office.
Fulton County judge could lose her job after Georgia's judicial watchdog says she broke the law. The Judicial Qualifications Commission says Superior Court Judge Sharmella Williams is facing several misconduct allegations, including improper communication with attorneys, delays on ruling on cases, and using her position to try to influence family court cases involving her uncle and a sorority sister. But the most serious accusation here, jailing a 21-year-old witness during her parents' divorce, even though Judge Williams later admitted she had no legal authority to do so. She told members of the commission that she just wanted to send a message. Well, the commission has recommended her removal to the Georgia Supreme Court. Former Fulton County Assistant District Attorney Daryl Cohen says a recommendation like this is rare and reflects the severity of the accusations.
We have to know as lawyers and as litigants, people in the courtroom, that that judge, male or female, young or old, it doesn't really matter, is above reproach and doesn't have a stake in the case, doesn't care who wins, just wants to follow the law and do the right thing.
Williams does have the opportunity to push back against her removal. She previously told the commission that she believes a suspension would be more appropriate.
Now, according to reports, the DA's office is defending the hire. They're calling her an accomplished attorney and saying that she brings experience. But the critics are asking a different question. At what point does experience stop mattering if judgment is the issue? In this article titled, "State Panel Says Fulton Judge Should Be Thrown Off Bench for Illegally Jailing a Witness," it is written by Michael Dudna, and it provides more context of her wrongdoings. The article reads, according to court documents, at least one case did not get a final ruling until 29 months after the final hearing. The panel says the long wait times were the least egregious of her problems. The JQC found that Judge Williams had improper ex parte conversations with one person about the case because they were sorority sisters. In another case, the JQC found that she improperly helped a family member. However, the JQC said in the most egregious case, Williams improperly jailed a witness. They say that while a 21-year-old witness testified on behalf of her mom, Williams constantly interrupted the testimony and asked her questions. At one point, she allegedly commanded the deputy to put the witness in custody to, quote unquote, go show her what the cell looks like. I was trying not to put her in jail and essentially scared her straight, for a better term. That was not the right decision. So as you just heard, she illegally detained and jailed a young witness during a case without proper legal authority. Like this wasn't a paperwork error. That is someone's freedom that she illegally took away. She was also accused of trying to influence a case involving a family member, having improper communications outside of court, and delaying rulings in multiple cases. And then there's even reports claiming that she gave untruthful testimony during her own ethics hearing. And guess what happened? The 3-judge panel from the Judicial Qualifications Commission accused Williams of more than 30 counts of misconduct. She should retire at this point. She has no business being hired as a prosecutor under Fani Willis. Hell, Fani Willis herself has no business being in her position either. But here we are. So let me ask you something. If a regular citizen did even one of those things, do you think that they just would get another job in the justice system? I think not. I mean, it's the classic rules for thee, but not for me scenario. Now let's zoom out because this isn't happening in a vacuum. Fani Willis has been one of the most high-profile prosecutors in the country. She rose to national attention after bringing a RICO case against President Donald Trump and his allies over the 2020 election. But that case didn't end the way that many expected. She was eventually disqualified due to what the court called an appearance of impropriety linked to her relationship with Nathan Wade, the prosecutor that she hired.
Well, the biggest question today is when Nathan Wade and District Attorney Fani Willis started their romantic relationship. In the last hour or so, Wade testifying it started in early 2022, about March, months after he was appointed special prosecutor. He also said it wasn't an affair because his marriage was long over.
In 2015, my marriage was irretrievably broken. So I did not have a relationship with anyone during the course of my marriage.
When did your romantic relationship with Miss Willis begin?
2022.
When in 2022?
Early 2022.
Now that contradicts what we heard from Robert Yurdy this morning. Yurdy says she was a close friend of Willis's for about 30 years until Yurdy left the district attorney's office on tense terms in 2022. She says there is, quote, no doubt that Willis and Wade had a romantic relationship prior to November 2021.
Did you observe them do things that are common among people having a romantic relationship?
Yes.
Such as, can you give us an example?
Hugging, kissing, just affection.
All before November 1st of 2021, correct?
Yes.
See, that was worth noting because now critics are saying this new hire isn't an isolated decision. If it's a broader pattern of questionable judgment when it comes to hiring and relationships inside the DA's office. So just to connect the dots, back in 2021, Fani Willis hired Nathan Wade, a move that later became a national controversy. And now in 2026, she hires a judge who resigned under an investigation. And the uncomfortable question is this bad luck or is this a pattern of prioritizing loyalty, connections, or familiarity over accountability? Because Sharmella Williams actually worked as a prosecutor in that same office years ago. So this isn't a random hire. This is someone she already knew. So maybe she's just helping out a friend who had to resign from her position for misconduct. So there's lots of misconducts happening in Fulton County. However, this isn't just political drama. This affects real people because prosecutors have power. They decide who gets charged, what charges are filed, and in many cases, how your life changes forever. So when someone accused of abusing judicial power is now given prosecutorial power, it creates a trust issue, and trust in the justice system is already fragile. So this case, it doesn't help it at all. So I have a couple of questions for you. Do you see this as a second chance or a red flag? And more importantly, would you feel comfortable if this office was prosecuting you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you got any value from today's video, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. And ring the bell so you don't miss any future updates. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.